Today I'm going to show you how to do a normal house connection to a potable water main. We have a ductile iron pipe, DN100, which has currently 6 bar pressure. We're going to use a normal universal hot tap saddle combined with your normal house connecting valve, house shut-off valve. So always first, what we're going to do, we're going to clean the pipe. Of course, here now the pipe is already pretty clean. Then we're going to add a little bit of lubricant to the sheathings of the saddle, just a little bit. Then we're going to mount the saddle on the ductile pipe. It doesn't matter what position do you first tighten it. Just make sure that when you will make the final adjustment, it's not too tight. Always try to tighten the bolts as evenly as you can, especially when doing the final tightening. You can always check the final tightness with a wrench, with the moment wrench, but now I'm just going to show you how the hot tap procedure goes, so I'm not so focused on the outlet being totally horizontal. Like this. There we have the saddle. Then we're going to mount the shut-off valve. I've already packed it with some sealing, how do you say, horsehair. I'm gonna add some paste on it. Then I'm gonna go connect it to the saddle. Screw the shut-off valve in place. When the valve is in place, clean the remainings, and then take your Tonisco Junior toolkit, which comes in a pretty handy suitcase. The first thing we're going to do is to fully open the valve. Like this. Then we're going to measure the overall distance from the pipe surface to the upper end of the valve. According to those measurements, we're going to build the drilling shaft. With all Tonisco machines, the drilling shaft is totally extendable, which means that we can basically drill through any type of valve, any type of saddle valve connection with the same machine, just by adding the right amount of extensions. Now I'm going to use the base shaft and the long extension, because the valve is pretty long. I'm gonna tighten the extension on. Then I'm going to take the drilling chuck, and the pilot drill. Going to insert the small drilling chuck to the base shaft. And because we are hot tapping through a new standard ductile, it means that it has an inner layer of concrete. Therefore, we are going to use the special GE carbide edge hole saws. So I'm gonna insert the hole saw in place, like this. Then I'm going to take the pilot drill, insert the pilot drill in place, and tighten the pilot drill. With the pilot drill, it's important to check that the pilot drill goes to the notch like this. So first tighten it a little bit, take a little bit back, and check that the pilot drill is on the notch. Then you can fully tighten the pilot drill. And basically now the shaft is ready. Then we're going to take the actual hot tap machine away from the suitcase. We're gonna detach the feed socket, and we're going to take the inner thread Tonisco Junior adapter that goes directly to the threads of the house connecting shut-off valve. Before we do anything else, we can insert the sealing tape on the valve. This is not a permanent connection, this is just used for the hot tapping. So we can just use tape, we don't have to do any other sealings. Then we're going to lubricate the sealings of the machine. And by doing this, it basically serves two causes. Other one is to keep the sealing in good condition so that the machine will last longer, or the sealing properties will last longer. And it also helps the individual work to be tight and sealed when you add some lubricant. Add the adapter to the machine body. Also lubricate the shaft. Like this. Insert the shaft to the hot tap machine body. And basically now we can mount the machine to the valve just by inserting it to the threads. Just like this. And now the valve is fully open, so we can also check that the shaft is the right length. It looks really good. You could basically, in a nutshell, you could say that when this length here is above 10 centimeters and below 17 centimeters, we are really good to go. Then you're going to take the feed socket, fully open the feed socket, and by doing this every time, it makes sure that you are going to start from the right point. It automatically locks the machine on the right place. Push it all the way back and then tighten the feed socket by turning it clockwise. It will automatically lock itself like this. Now we see that the feed socket has found a place around the middle section of the body, so it means that we have plenty of drilling distance. But of course here, when the hot tap is so small, I already know that this is enough, so we don't even have to adjust the feed while we're going to do the hot tap. Now, when everything is basically mounted, we are going to do the pressure test. And today I'm going to use compressed water. So I have my pressure test unit ready. The machine is in place. I'm gonna insert the hose and start pumping. I usually recommend that add just a little bit more pressure than you have in the main. So basically I'm going to use now 6 bar pressure. I'm gonna put 6 bar water pressure, close the valve, put the manometer on, double check the pressure, the saddle is not leaking, the thread connection on the between the shut-off valve and the saddle is not leaking. Those are the most important connections here. The thread connected to the shut-off valve can leak a little bit, but it doesn't matter because you are going to remove it after the hot tap. But always make sure that these 2 connections here are not leaking at all. The pressure is still the same. I see no leaks. Now we can start the actual hot tapping. But before we do that, we're gonna put the safety gear on. So you need your glasses and a helmet. Put the strap on and use ear protection if needed. This hot tap now that we're going to do is only 30 millimeters and it's ductile iron and we have carbide edge hole saw. So in such a small hot tap, we don't really need the electric drive unit with the worm gear. We can just take the connection adapter, put it on the shaft and use our normal electric drill. Okay, I'm gonna adjust it. Tighten the connection adapter, put it to the shaft, and what I like to do, I don't like to use the most fastest RPMs. I'm gonna choose the lowest RPMs and do the whole hot tapping with the same RPMs. So now I'm going to start. I will take a little bit back from the feed socket, so when I start turning it, it can turn freely. Now I'm going to start the pilot drill hot tapping. You can see the slight change in the manometer that verifies that you have penetrated the pipe. Now the pilot drill is through. You can also double check it by only turning the feed socket, and when it goes, you know that the pilot drill is through. Okay. Now we also see the actual pressure that actually is on the main. Now we don't need the manometer anymore. We can take it away so that it's not on the way when we do the rest of the work. Then, because there is that small distance between the hole saw and the pilot drill, we can take that feed distance away simply by turning the feed socket without turning the shaft. Now it stops. Now I see that the hole saw is touching the pipe. Now I'm going to start the hole saw hot tapping. And also, because it's a carbide edge hole saw, it means that basically you can use a little bit faster RPMs. So only thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to take a little bit better posture, support the drill, and start start the hot tapping slowly. Also here, remember that it's not a speed contest, so feed carefully and let the machine do the work. After the ductile section of the hot tapping is through, you can feel it in the machine. It comes a little bit lighter and you can hear a little bit different sound. But now we still have to go through the small concrete layer. When the shaft turns freely, you can hear it from the machine, you can feel it from the socket. So now basically the hot tap is through. Let's make a few more turns. Then stop. Double check that we are through by turning only the feed socket, not the shaft. So now we can verify that the hole saw has also penetrated the pipe. And now basically the hot tap is done. Then what we want to do next is that we want to take the shaft out. So slowly put your body weight on the feed socket, remove it from the socket and let the pressure push the shaft up. Then close the valve. And now basically we have a new connection. And also here we need to be careful when releasing the pressure from the chamber that we are not going to cause any extra splashes. That's why we can use the pressure relief hose. Insert it to the control cock, direct the hose away from yourself, open the control cock and release the pressure from the chamber. Remove the relief hose. Remove the hot tap machine. And now you have a new house connection with a shut-off valve. In order to keep the machine in really good condition, always remember to disassemble everything, clean everything and put them back to the suitcase. So we're gonna disassemble the adapter, clean it, we're gonna take the shaft out, clean the body, and one of the most important things is to always remember to disassemble the shaft after the hot tapping. When you do it immediately, it comes off really easily. You're gonna take the special Tonisco wrenches and the shaft opening pins. Place the other key on top of the shaft and use the other one to disassemble the chuck like this. It opens really easily when you do it right after the hot tap. Like this. Then use the shaft opening pin, slide the shaft, slide the special key so that it aligns with the hole on the shaft, so that the shaft opening pin and the hole is aligned, and then open also the shaft like this. then clean everything and put everything back to the suitcase. By doing this, the machine will basically last forever.